Imagine this. A single day, a single country, but two completely different realities playing out at the same time.
It's quite a picture.
Yeah, like on one side, you've got the whole military honors, red carpets, jets painting the sky.
The full state treatment.
Exactly. And then on the other side, you have thousands of people jamming the streets, chanting, singing protest songs.
A real clash.
That striking difference, that duality, is exactly what we're digging into today.
Okay.
So our deep dive is taking us to the UK, specifically Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. We're going to unpack President Donald Trump's second state visit there.
Second one? Right. Unusual.
Very. And we're basing this on a really insightful article called Trump's UK Visit, Royal Welcome, Public Outcry. It captures that mix of, regal ceremony and pretty intense political feelings.
Sounds like it covers both sides well.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So our mission here is to navigate these two kind of conflicting stories, the pomp and circumstance versus the loud public rejection. We want to understand what this two-day visit really tells us about international diplomacy, maybe national identity too, and just the sheer power of public opinion these days.
How people actually feel versus the official line.
Precisely. We'll look at the specific moments, the key voices that really define this visit, which was, let's face it, highly anticipated but also deeply divisive. And by the end, you'll get a clearer sense of how one single event can look so different depending on your viewpoint, and why understanding these layers is, well, pretty crucial for making sense of global events.
Okay, let's get into it. Where do we start?
Let's start at Windsor Castle. Ancient place, steeped in history. That's where President Trump and the First Lady arrived, and the reception was seriously grand.
As you'd expect for a state visit, I suppose.
Oh yeah, King Charles III received them personally. Full military honors right away. A big signal.
Sets the tone.
Definitely. Picture this. They're on the east lawn of the castle, sitting on a dais, bands in full uniform playing. Totally. And then the Royal Air Force's red arrows roar overhead.
Yeah.
An impressive flyover, leaving those red, white, and blue smoke trails across the sky. Very patriotic, very storybook.
A powerful visual statement.
It really is. But, amidst all that celebration, there are also these moments of solemnity.
Like what?
Well, the Trumps laid a wreath at Queen Elizabeth II's tomb. A poignant gesture, very traditional, acknowledging her legacy.
Right, connecting with that history and continuity.
Exactly. And later, preparations were underway for a full white-tie state banquet. The absolute peak of British diplomatic hospitality. Huge symbolic weight.
The highest honor.
So you have this incredible spectacle, all this tradition, it's undeniable. But what message does that send, really, on the world stage, especially given how controversial Trump can be?
Well, that's where it gets interesting, isn't it? It's not just about the show. The article mentions these extended private talks between Trump and King Charles.
Right, behind closed doors.
Exactly. And we don't know the specifics, of course, but King Charles has long been vocal about things like climate change, global aid, Ukraine.
Issues Trump hasn't always seen eye to eye with the establishment on.
Precisely. So even if those conversations aren't public, the king raising these topics, even subtly, is a form of soft power. It's the monarchy using its unique position.
So it's diplomacy happening alongside the pageantry.
Yes. It's about influencing the dialogue, reaffirming certain values, British values, you could say, even when dealing with a leader who might challenge them. The ceremony kind of creates the space for that.
That's a subtle but important point. It's strategic.
Definitely. It's not just ceremony for ceremony's sake. It's leveraging that tradition diplomatically.
Okay, so that's the Windsor side.
Yeah.
A masterclass in soft power, maybe. But does that kind of welcome risk looking like an endorsement? Especially when, just down the road...
Ah, yes. The other reality.
Yeah, because at the very same time, central London had a completely different vibe, a really potent energy of resistance.
The public outcry part of the article's title?
Exactly. While the Trumps were, getting ready for the banquet, thousands of people were flooding Parliament Square.
Organized protests.
Yeah, coalition activist groups, trade unions, and some big names were there. Jeremy Corbyn, the former Labour leader.
Okay. What did he say?
The article says he openly mocked Trump for taking a helicopter, apparently to avoid the crowds, accused him of spreading racial division, fueling the war in Gaza.
Strong words.
Very. He apparently said, and this is a direct quote, "Our message to Donald Trump is, don't talk about peace while you supply arms to Israel."
Well, doesn't mince words.
Not at all. And the new Green Party leader, Zack Polanski, was there too, urging people to reject the politics of hate and division.
So a very clear political message from the opposition.
Absolutely. And the atmosphere sounds like it was intense. The musician Billy Bragg led the crowd singing, "All you fascists are bound to lose."
A classic protest anthem.
Right. And chants like, "Say it loud, say it clear, Donald Trump's not welcome here," were apparently echoing all over the square.
Quite the scene.
Yeah. Eventually, the police ordered the protest to wrap up around 7 p.m., and the crowd slowly dispersed after that.
Okay.
But this contrast, I mean, the official royal welcome and then this huge vocal public rejection, it really makes you think, doesn't it? What does that say about, like, free speech in the UK? It's such a sensitive moment.
It really highlights that dichotomy, doesn't it, between the diplomatic face a nation presents and what its people might actually be feeling.
Yeah.
The UK government allowing these protests, even facilitating them to some extent, is also a statement in itself. It shows, perhaps, a commitment to democratic expression, even when it's directed at a guest.
So it's part of the balancing act. Hosting, but also letting dissent be heard.
Exactly. State visits aren't just government to government anymore. They involve managing public opinion, dealing with domestic politics, projecting certain values. It's complex.
A tightrope walk, for sure.
Yeah.
How do you show democratic values without, I don't know, directly insulting your guest?
It is a tightrope, and it's getting harder in our interconnected world. But there was another layer to the protests, too, wasn't there? Something even more provocative.
Oh, absolutely. As if the royal welcome and the street protests weren't enough contrast, there was the whole shadow of Jeffrey Epstein.
Right. How did that manifest?
The protesters made it impossible to ignore. They actually projected huge images of Trump and Epstein onto the walls of Windsor Castle itself.
Onto the castle walls. Wow.
Yeah, not nearby, like on the walls. They had a giant banner outside the gates, too.
That's incredibly audacious.
It really is. Projecting those images onto Windsor Castle. That's not just a protest. It's a huge symbolic act aimed right at the heart of the establishment. What kind of statement does that make?
It's fascinating, isn't it, how protests can weave in these other narratives, often ones the officials would rather not discuss.
Totally sidestepping the official script.
Exactly. The article notes that, obviously, Epstein wasn't mentioned inside the castle, but having those images beamed onto the walls, it's an unavoidable reminder of scandals, unanswered questions, things that linger around elites in both the U.S. and U.K.
A very uncomfortable subtext to the whole affair.
Absolutely. It connects the diplomatic event to these wider societal concerns and critiques. It's a powerful way of saying that these high-level meetings don't happen in a bubble.
Right. They're part of a bigger picture, whether the participants like it or not.
Precisely. It shows how public dissent can use these moments to demand accountability, to bring uncomfortable truths right onto the stage, quite literally in this case. It injects that raw public feeling right into the heart of the official ceremony.
An unfiltered message crashing the party.
You could say that. It definitely complicates the carefully managed diplomatic narrative.
So, okay, we've gone from the grandeur of Windsor, the honors, the tradition, the subtle diplomacy, to the loud, angry streets of London, and then these shocking projections onto the castle itself.
Quite the journey in one day.
Yeah. The article sums it up as this stark contrast. Trump embraced with royal dignity in Windsor, but facing this wall of dissent in London.
A tale of two Britons.
That's the phrase, yeah. It underlines that even while the UK's leaders rolled out the red carpet, a significant part of the public was deeply skeptical, deeply opposed.
And it highlights Trump's unique position, too, getting that second state visit, courted twice by the monarchy.
Which is rare. But the protest made it crystal clear that welcome wasn't universal, not by a long shot, once you stepped outside the castle gates.
No doubt about that.
So what's the deeper takeaway from this tale of two Britons playing out side by side? What does it all mean?
Well, connecting it to the bigger picture, I think it shows how difficult it is now for official narratives to completely control public perception during these events.
Social media, instant news, it all plays a part.
Absolutely. The state banquet fulfills the diplomatic duty, sure. But the protests, the images, the online reaction that becomes an equally potent, though unofficial, message. It tells leaders that foreign relations success isn't just about government ties anymore.
You have to factor in public opinion much more directly.
You have to. You need to somehow manage or at least acknowledge and contend with public sentiment, both yours and your guests. State visits are now these complex conversations involving the whole society.
Not just two leaders in a room.
Far from it.
Mhm.
It involves millions watching, reacting, having their say. And that collective voice can echo globally, even drowning out the ceremonial trumpets sometimes.
Yeah.
It makes you think about who the real audience is for these things.
That's a really good point. It's a performance for many audiences.
Definitely.
So let's recap. We've journeyed from Windsor's pomp and private talks to London's protests, chants, and those haunting Epstein projections.
A day of stark contrasts.
Absolutely. This deep dive into Trump's second UK visit on September 17th, 2025, really gives you this vivid picture of a nation quite divided in how it received him.
Mm-hmm.
It highlights that delicate dance between diplomatic tradition and democratic noise, showing how even super formal events become stages for very real, very powerful public feeling.
And it leaves us with a pretty challenging thought, doesn't it?
Which is,
Well, looking ahead, how do leaders manage diplomacy when those symbolic castle walls are just so porous now? When public opinion, amplified by things like those projections, can crash the party so effectively?
how do you balance tradition protocol with this very visible, sometimes very raw public mood?
Exactly. It forces you to think about what the truth of a state visit even is anymore. Is it the official communique, or is it the messy, conflicting stories told by the whole society? It might mean a fundamental rethink of diplomatic strategy in this age of scrutiny.
A lot for us, and for you listening, to chew on there. How do nations navigate this complex landscape going forward? That's the lingering question.